it's Tuesday. This is our reading video. So yesterday you guys read the story called A Gift for a Gift. Again, it's 4 pages, and then you wrote the vocabulary definitions to kind of start understanding and preparing for your vocab quiz, okay? And that way you can understand the story a little bit better with the words that it uses. All right? So today you're going to read the story again. Remember, it's a folk tale, and as we talked about yesterday, a folk tale is a story that's been passed down from generation to generation, from parent to child, then them to their child, them to their child, so on and so forth, over and over again. But it was told by word of mouth, so it wasn't really written down. It's just told from one person to the next by their mouth, like by word of mouth, which means it could have changed a little bit here and there, okay? And the other thing is that the folk tales always have lessons. They always have morals to them about right and wrong. Okay, so I want to give you some examples of that to kind of, this one you can see as a folk tale, but I want to give you some examples of folk tales that you've probably heard of, and maybe just either you know already that they're folk tales or you didn't, but we're going to talk about them anyway. You can have these 3 that I'm going to talk about as your assignment. So your assignment today, I will read it straight to you if I can get the right page up, sorry. So it says, choose and describe 3 folk tales by completing the information given. So you have each folk tale, what happens in it, and the lesson taught, okay? So I'm gonna kind of go over those. What happened in it, I'm just gonna give you a quick overview. If you wanna read the whole story, you can. They're always pretty short. And I really like folk tales. I think they're pretty cool. Okay? So, the first one that probably everybody has heard of is the 3 little pigs. So we have these 3 little pigs, and each of them are building the house. The first builds it from straw, the second from mud, the third from brick. It may not be straw and mud, but you get the point. And then this big bad wolf comes around and he's like, I'm gonna huff, I'm gonna puff, and I'm gonna blow your house down. And the first 2, he did blow their house down, but the third one, he didn't. So the moral of that story is hard work pays off. Hard work and dedication pays off. Okay, so if you take the easy way out, if you make it, you know, if you make your house out of mud, because it's just easier, like there's mud there, it's gonna come down much more easily. Okay, again, it may not have been straw and mud, but that was the general idea. The next one we're going to talk about is The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and I'm sure most of you have heard of this one too. So what happens in the story is there's this boy, and he's trying to prank the town he lives in, the village, and be like, there's a wolf coming, there's a wolf coming, ah! And they all freak out at first, even though it was a false alarm. He was just pranking them. And so then he does that a couple more times. And at the end, a wolf really is there, but they don't believe him. So he eats the boy and the other people in the village because nobody believed him. So the moral of the story is that nobody is going to believe a liar, even if you're telling the truth. So if you make a habit of lying, even when you're telling the truth, no one's going to want to believe you because you lie all the time and they don't believe you then. All right, and then the third one we're going to talk about is called King Midas and the Golden Touch. So I don't know how many of you guys have heard of that one. That's one of my personal favorites because I grew up hearing it. And it is pretty much, you had King Midas, and he was greedy as could be. He had all the riches because he was king. He had all the riches that he could imagine, and he still was like, no, I want more. I want to be able to turn things to gold with my touch, literally like, touch. If I touched my laptop, it would turn to gold, right? And he thinks this is great and everything, but then as he's crying out because his food turns to gold, one moment, Beasley, sorry, but as his food is turning to gold, as his water turns to gold, he's like, woe is me, what did I do? And his daughter, to try to help him, goes and hugs him, and because he touched her, she turns to gold too. So the moral of that story is be content with what you have. Be happy with what you have. Don't be greedy. Okay, so those are just 3 examples. Again, you can fill that in today, but I just wanted you guys to explore some other folk tales, kind of get an idea you know, like, this is like, yeah, this is a folk tale, but what else would be a folk tale? And those are some examples of what would be a folk tale, because they are. So if you wanted to look up others and include those, that's cool too. Folk tales are pretty cool things. Fables are kind of folk tale, but they focus they have animals more as characters, and that kind of thing, okay?